Steve, before we talk about Saturday's show in Liverpool, you were in Leeds for Josh's first defence of his second reign. Didn't go the way we wanted it, did it, mate?
No. He wasn't far off going the way we expected it to be honest. I mean, we knew the kid had had a good start because he was a sharpshooter and a pot shotter, and he comes in from different angles. So, like the game plan was to get through the first 4 rounds and start putting pressure on him. But probably the early start won him the fight. Although personally, I thought the end won the fight for Josh, because the championship round he finished strong, and if it wasn't for the referee allowing him to hold, I don't think like the 3 minutes would turn into 2 minutes because he was holding. And then there was a bizarre incident where he complained about his leg being hurt off a shot, and then the referee gave him a minute to recover, which I've never ever seen before, and I don't even think it's in the rules. And those extra bit of breathers probably made the difference between Josh stopping him and not. So I'm not saying it wasn't a fair fight. It was a good fight. It could have gone either way, but those little breathers that he got probably seen him through. And he's a good fighter, and give Josh lots of trouble early door, but Josh was giving him loads of trouble later on. I just wish maybe we'd have started a little bit quicker, and then there would have been no controversy. It'd have been a win for him. But is what it is. I mean, very, very disappointing that in your hometown as a champion that you have a close 50-50 fight and it's given to the away kid. But if you thought the kid won, that's the fair right decision, isn't it?
I listened to it on Talk Sport on the way back from Liverpool, and I think there was Cartwright and Barry Jones speaking on it, and they were both split. I think Frock thought Josh had won it comfortably. I think he had it 116, 112. Barry thought the latter rounds earned him a draw, those last 3 or 4 rounds.
Well, he'd still be champion with that, wouldn't he? And we'd have lived with that. But losing it leaves a bit of taste when you put in those hard 12 rounds. And for me, I had him winning by a round. People close to me had him winning by a few more rounds, and it is what it is, isn't it? It's subjective, and I mean, the British ref Howard Foster had it a draw. The other two's 115, 113.
One round,
it's probably what they like. But the kids moaning for me, and the holding, they could have had at least a point took off him for that. So, as I say, it's done and dusted, isn't it? So you don't want to sound complaining, because he's like a bad sports person, isn't it? And it is a sport at the end of the day, even though it's a business. And obviously going into the next fight as not a champion will affect us on the business side as well. But it's what it is, and it's done now, and we'll move on. Great support for Josh again, and it's a shame that he didn't carry on his unbeaten record in Leeds.
Yeah. Was that his 13th time, wasn't it? Unlucky.
No, I think it was his 12th time at the ring.
Right. So I thought someone said it was his 13th time. But on the plus side, we did have Cory O'Regan picking up win number 9 and his first stoppage.
Yeah, it's his first stoppage. The kid wasn't very good, who he fought, to be fair, but he did a number on him, which is all you can ask. And we was going to be in a tough fight with Sean Cooper. But,
why didn't it happen then?
Well, it was a weight issue. They asked for a couple of pounds, we give it him. They asked for a couple more pounds, and we was not too sure. And then they wanted another half a stone, so we said that's not on. It's a hard fight for him. At least we want it on
level terms.
On the same weight. We don't want to be giving that sort of weight away in a 50-50 fight. So we're lucky to find someone, and unfortunately it wasn't to the standard we wanted. But we've got to win, and we move on. So let's see why we can develop Cory now. Yeah.
And going on to our Liverpool show, we started early because of the football, so we started at 5 o'clock, and we had our little Italian friend on there. Again, it's been hard for him because he's been like matched a little bit heavy, hasn't he, each time? But came through it well against Jordan Granham.
Yeah, well, as you said, I was in Leeds and I've not had a chance. I know you put them up on the YouTube channel, but I've not had a chance to look at them. So if you just want to fly through the Liverpool show, I'll chip in with little bits if I can, yeah.
Well, Desi, I like him. He's got a very pleasing style, and he was very aggressive, and he did a good job. But like I say, Jordan just a little bit too big, but he still won. I think it's 40-37. So, oh no. Yeah, I think it was 40-37 it was. But a kid who's, you've been putting him on our shows as a favour to Dave Fitzgerald, the Greek kid, Stathos. He looked absolutely vicious, mate, against our favourite Russian friend.
Yeah, I believe he got stuck into him and cut his eye, hasn't he?
Yeah,
so he's out for next week. So the kids, you know, he's over there fighting for his family and he's sending money back home, and so. You know, it's a shame that he's not, but he's had a good run, Rusty, hasn't he? And he's been on a lot of our shows as well.
That was his 12th time on our show, mate, and his 44th fight since October when he came over here. So I don't know what that is, like 16 months.
I believe he was devastated. He's got a cut and but, you know, unfortunate, isn't it?
But a very, very good performance by the Greek lad. And then we had the debutant of Alex Pattison, very good one against. Like you said before in the pre-fight interviews we did, not what you'd want to pick. Robbie Chapman's not the guy you want to pick for your debut, but we didn't need to worry. He looked very good.
Yeah, you mentioned to me, didn't you, that he boxed well. I spoke with Stevie Lillis, and they all said he's a competent fighter. Yeah, so that was good. Like you say, you get a bit worried. You don't know what you're going to get on your debut, but I think he said he disciplined and boxed really well. Yeah,
he did box really well. I think Robbie Chapman did really well as well, because he realised that he couldn't match him on pure boxing, on jabbing. So he gave his height away and he ended up targeting his body a lot. So it was a real good learning fight for Robbie, because he had to deal with quite a very clever fighter now, Robbie Chapman. And then we had the return of Joe Cavanagh, not been in the ring for 13 months, mate.
Yeah.
And do you know something? Really impressed with him. Wouldn't have known that he'd not boxed for 13 months against Michael Mooney having his 100th fight. And do you know something? Really, really good. He could have done perhaps a little bit more, but considering being out 12 months, or 13 months I should say, amazing shape. Looked like he's obviously been working hard in the gym over the last 6 months.
Like you say, he's going to be like a super feather lightweight, and he's a fighter.
And he says he can make super featherweight.
Good,
but he looks huge in there. He really did look big. And a kid who's getting a lot of people talking about him now, because he had 3 very good performances. Ethan Brown, fighting another southpaw, Lee Hallett.
Listen, that Lee Hallett's a good test for anyone, isn't it? I know he's not won many, but he always gives everyone a good fight. And I remember him giving Matty Fagan one in Ellesmere Port a few years ago. And,
it was. I think that was the last time he was on a VIP show, wasn't he?
Yeah, I don't like coming up north, does he? But he's come on the train this time, and one of my friends spoke to him after the fight, and he was saying how sharp Ethan was. So another good performance by Ethan. He's moving in the right way. Yeah, because he spoke to. I was listening to him. He was speaking to Nathan Bennett, because he'd fought Nathan Bennett previously before he fought Matty Fagan, and he said to Nathan. He said, a good kid that Ethan, so it's always nice when you get that type of compliment from your opponent. And then we had James Francis having his second fight against Harley Margison, which is, the performance wasn't too bad, but it was a bit reversed from what he did when he fought Jamie Quinn, because Jamie Quinn, he started terrible but finished the fight brilliantly, and this time he started the fight really good. But that Harley Magnuson, Alex Mafianco's boy, started moving his feet, and actually it was a really, really close fight towards the end. I think it was 38-37. Good. I like to see some good fights on the show, so I'm glad there was a tight one there.
Do you know something? I think Francis, I know he's got a lot of learning to do, but I think he's exciting, you know what I mean? He throws good shots, but he just smothered his work a little bit in the last 2 rounds. So. But a great learning fight for him, Then we had the football, and in between the first half and second half, we had Conor Goulding on. And you doing a favour for Curtis Gigano?
Yeah.
And do you know something? I was dead chuffed for him because it was a rematch with Seamus Devlin, and I think the last time he fought it was 39-38. It was a close, tough fight. The second time he really showed that he's come on, and he ended up getting a 40-36 and a well-deserved 40-36 as well.
No, I'm glad he come on the show because he sold a few tickets, and from what I'm being told, it wasn't like a busy night, was it? So
no,
it was good that he come along. Yeah.
Well, we'll get on to it because Nathan's on there later on. But Nathan Bennett, I think you said it before. Ready to get into those big fights. I think he was talking after the fight because he fought Mikhail Sofas, isn't it?
Yeah, he's a tough kid who he fought. I mean, I always knew that Nathan would be too much for him and too good for him. And I spoke to a few people afterwards, and they reckon it could have been Nathan's best performance. He reckon he boxed really well. Yeah.
He didn't get caught with anything. No silly shots. Never took any silly shots, and punished him every round. Very good performance by him, and I think it says like he's.
Well, listen, if we can get him a good fight on the TV, great. If not, he can fight James Moorcroft from one of mine, can't he? So
that'd be a cracking fight, that wouldn't it?
Yeah,
a really good fight. Then my favourite little featherweight, well, super bantamweight actually, Jake Harrison. He had the John Spencer test.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult at those weights, but we needed to get him a 6th round. He's done his 4-4s, and you know, a title fight's going to come quickly for him, aren't they? So it was nice to get him a 6th round. He had to give a bit of weight away, and probably from what I'm hearing, the extra weight kept the kid up, which is good. So he's panned out as it wanted to be a good learning fight for him. Yeah.
Well, he looked very sharp. And like I say, started the fight nice and fast and finished it even better. So good performance by him. And then arguably the performance of the night, Mason Cartwright against the very tough Russian Vasily Mamedov, is it?
Yeah, I mean, again, that kid's coming overweight. He's made at 11'6" and he's coming at 12 stone, but obviously ability-wise, Nathan's above him, but it's good that he got the stoppage once he gets some rounds out, which he's got, because he wasn't till round 6, was it?
It was only about just over a minute left of the
so he's got the rounds out, and you know, I feel a bit sorry for Mason because he did really well against Troy Williamson, and we thought on the back of that he would get a couple of opportunities, but when we've been asked and took fights and thought they'd been agreed, people have pulled out on him, and it's been a shame, but we've managed to get him 2 wins now, keep him busy, and I'm sure 2023 he's going to get an opportunity. These TV promoters can't not put good fights on the New Year's. There's too much competition. You've got to start putting them on.
And very rarely is Mason not in a good fight.
No, he can't be not being a good fight, especially if he's going to fight someone good. Do you know what I mean? It's going to be a good fight, that's guaranteed, and that's what they need to put on. And you know, whoever it is, Mason will give him a run for the money.
Well, he actually put him over in the 2nd round with a beautiful left hook, really well timed, and. Even though I thought the stoppage, because it was so late on in the 9th round, I felt a little bit sorry for the Russian because he'd been taking punishment through every single round, and there was a minute left, and I thought he perhaps could have seen it out, but you know, perfect for Mason. 6 rounds in the bank and a stoppage, so you couldn't ask for more than that, could you?
No.
And then you did another favour for Ant Crawler, Zahir Iqbal.
Yeah, that was a last minute thing, because the show the night before got cancelled, and Ant phoned me up and just said, listen, his lad's devastated because it's the 3rd time it's happened to him, and he's been like back in the gym after being out for 3 years with injury, and he's dead keen to fight. Can we slip him on? So we just had 1 slot, so yeah, we slipped him on, mate. Yeah.
And do you know something? He's huge, mate. He's absolutely huge. And a very dominant performance. But the interview on here, he's got him fighting George Rhodes, who's 7-2-1, and I thought that's a tough fight to come back to when you're not fought for over 2 years. It was different with George Rogers.
Yeah,
but,
spelling mistakes, they happen, don't they? But no, I believe he's a good kid, and he's from Bolton and can shift a few with some notice. So I dare say we'll see him again on a VIP show.
Yeah, it'd be great down at Bolton, because I think he's good friends with one of our fighters, Samir Aftab.
Oh, right.
And he was down there supporting.
Better not next Samir's sales.
Well, it could be even more then, because it could sell the place down them too. But like I say, a good night all in all.
Well, in Liverpool, yeah, you know, in Leeds, just, you know, gutted for Josh, but.
Have you managed to speak to Josh after?
No, I haven't yet. No, we've shared a couple of texts, but we're due a phone call this afternoon, mate. Yeah.
No, we'll wish you all the best, mate. I'm touching for him. I have, like I say, I listened to it on the radio, and I wanted to watch the last couple of rounds because you know that's what everyone thought why he won the fight, because of that really strong finish he did, and it was a strong finish. So I think that's a good tick in the box. When a champion can do that at the end of a fight that was close.
Yeah.
Steve, you take care, mate.
Okay.
Oh, hang on. Should we do it tomorrow? We talk about the Johnny Boy?
Yeah, let me fix that up, mate. Yeah.
Alright, mate. I'll see you tomorrow, mate.
Okay, bye.
For all boxing info, news and latest interviews, amateur and pro, across the north, click and subscribe. VIP Boxing Promotions. Also, Twitter, Instagram and Facebook.